My name is Ben Cohen, and I created a film called The Man Who Could Fly. My short film is about a man who lives alone in his late 20s. It's set in like the late 70s, early 80s, or of a time at least. You can't exactly pinpoint when it is, but it's about a man who thinks he can fly, and he has never lost that kind of childhood fantasy that it might actually be possible. If I just run fast enough, I can probably take off. And he really believes that, and he lives his life like that. And it's shot in a mockumentary style, so it's him telling to camera, to the interviewer, um, why he thinks he can fly, and what he needs to do, what his daily life is, what his diet is, to be able to give him the best chance to take off. So that's what the film is about. What inspired the story and grabbed you as a filmmaker? I was inspired to write the story on a plane journey with my mum, and she was telling me how she thought that she could fly as a child, and like she said, she really believed it. Uh, and I thought she was kind of speaking like she still believed it, and I thought it was a very sweet thought to have an adult, which kind of just thought that was possible. Never let go of the fact, or the thought, even, sorry, that that could possibly happen. If you just really concentrated on it, and you got up enough speed. So yeah, that's what inspired the story. What difficulties, if any, did you have to overcome in making the film? None really. I mean, we did a lot of takes of one scene where I wanted to be. It was just like a nice little cutaway where I wanted Rob to look like he was practicing, really trying to take off, and we took an airbed down to Beachy Head, and not to go right over the edge, but to just go off a little mound near down there nearby in this sort of grassy area, and so you couldn't see the airbed in the shot, and he was just going to take off and go off the edge, and he just couldn't. We did so many takes of it, and rightly so. It was daunting to jump off this thing and commit to it, and so I had to do it. I did it first to show him that you can do it, and I committed to it, and it did hurt my chin, but I didn't mention that at all before I got him to go, and he did it in the end. To his credit, he did it. He jumped off, and I think it's a really nice little shot. It's a nice little cutaway in the film. Was the subject matter difficult to shoot, and how do you think you did in portraying it? The subject matter is about a man who thinks he can fly. Is that difficult? I mean, it touches on mental health, I guess, a little bit, because he's clearly there is some delusions that he has, and maybe some depression if you really want to look into it. Um, but I think the character is very sweet, and I think that's largely down to, well, probably solely down to the way that Rob portrays the character. He does it very well, and I don't think there's anything in there to offend anyone. I mean, who knows? How long did it take to finally lock in the script? I think I wrote most of it on the plane ride that I was inspired to write it on, and then we added a little bit of a monologue. I think maybe after first rehearsal. I think there was probably between having the idea and locking in the script was about 2 months total. Did you have any budget? How did you go about funding the film? We didn't have any budget. I funded the film myself. I had to pay a DOP for a day and a half, and a sound guy for a day, and they both worked very cheap for me as well. Um, but everyone else worked on the film for free. It cost me about £500 in total to make it, which was very cheap, because I did a lot of the stuff myself. I edited it myself as well. I coloured it myself. The drone shots at the end, it was my drone. I filmed that. So yeah, no funding. How long have you been making films for? I made my first film, I think, 4 years ago. What camera did you use to film on? I think it was a Canon C100. It was DOP Liam Morgan's camera. Um, I think that's what it was. Not 100% sure. Would you do it all again in the same way? If not, what would you change to make it even better? I would like to be able to do it in the same way again. It was quite easy and it was fun and everything fell into place. I think I wouldn't be able to do it in the same way because we got a lot of the stuff for free. So if I could change things, I guess I would like a budget, a bit more of a bigger budget to be able to do it with, to be able to pay the crew, pay for locations, pay the actors. Um, that would be the difference because at the moment I use stand-up comics in my films, and I'm a stand-up comic myself, so I get to see a lot of these guys on stage doing, you know performing, so I get to see something of what they can do, and that enables me to kind of cast it and write the characters to what I think they can do, and I think that helps in making the characters feel real. It would be great to have a budget to be able to audition people and maybe bring in other people that are actors, and not that they can't act the stand-ups, they clearly can, but yeah, to be able to sort of raise the production level in every way, get a bigger budget. Yeah. Who inspires you as a filmmaker? I'm inspired by. I grew up watching like old sort of sitcoms like Dad's Army and Last of the Summer Wine. I also love like Peep Show and Alan Partridge and Curb, and I consumed like all kinds of different things, which I think inspire me. But as filmmakers, I love the Cohen brothers, not just because they're my namesake, but just because of the way they make something feel. And I think they tell quite slow stories, and I think the reason they're able to do that is because of how beautiful everything looks and the camera movements and how strong the characters are. And I think if you do that, if you make something look really pretty and intriguing, then everything doesn't have to be driving the narrative forward. There can be things which you just like, you like the look of, and I like that. I like making something feel a certain way because of the colours and the way it looks. What's next for you and your team? What's next? Just so happens to be on the screen behind me. If you can see it, it might be a little bit out of focus. That is the movie poster for my next film. It's called The Immortal Family, and it is a follow-on from The Man Who Can Fly, and it will be out to view by the time this goes out on Vimeo. So check it out, please. And I have the script locked it for the follow-on from that, because this is going to be a little film series, all with Charlie Pullen, who plays the interviewer in that same role. So he plays that role in The Immortal Family. And the next one is a working title called East End Medium, and it is about a woman in her 50s who is a sort of East End Cockney, sort of bordering Essex character, kind of a Del Boy character, but that's also a clairvoyant, a little bit of a charlatan, but hopefully kind of like a rogue clairvoyant that hopefully you like as well. So that's what's next.